As we begin here, please welcome Angie Taylor Aramburu and to the stage, and Misty Spears. All right, here we go. It's the same questions, so if somebody has memorized them and wants to go for it, you're welcome to. Child care is often referred to as a textbook example of a failed market. It costs too much for families at a time that they can least afford it. It pays too little for the educators who make $11.35 an hour on average. Child care centers are making little to no profit and are often shrinking and closing. And employers are often left bearing the brunt of lack of access to affordable care for families and their workers. If you are elected to City Council, what would you do to help rectify this challenge for so many who are involved? We're going to follow the same format, minute and a half, 30-30. And I think, Misty, you've got the ball.
Yes, childcare is expensive. I too have felt that. I have 3 daughters and they're 2 years apart, so they were all in childcare at the same time in certain parts of their younger years. And this is also a barrier for people who are trying to further their education, as we're seeing in the workforce. And so we have to, I know with Pre-K for SA, they do a lot of training for the child care providers as well. And I like that piece of Pre-K for SA. This is going to be a challenge. It's not going to be a one-prong approach. We're going to have to go after federal dollars. I think we need to go after every grant we can possibly go after. We do that a lot through the Alamo City Council of Governments. But it's something that we need the market to help dictate, and that as we see our culture in our city value the role of young early childhood educators more, and encouraging that as a real career path. And if we can find grant funding, that's the best thing I think we can try to do. But it's a very big challenge and something I'm eager to take on and look at in City Council.
Great, thank you. Angie?
Hello everyone, thank you so much for having us here. Education is something I am passionate about. I've been very involved in our public school district for the last 10 years. I have 3 children. I've been president of the PTA and many other roles. So I have firsthand knowledge of, what happens in the school and the difficulties the teachers face. I've graduated from Leadership NEISD, which is a deep dive into the public school system. I was appointed to the Efficiency Committee for NEISD, so I feel like I have a good understanding of the struggles our public schools face. And the early child care is critical. I'm someone who has a master's degree. I had my, career of choice. And I had to give that up when I had kids because we simply couldn't afford it. And, and need someone in the middle. And so what happens to those on the, below that? It affects families. It affects the trajectory of families. It affects the cycle of poverty for families. So pre-K and early childcare has to be a priority because that is economic development for our city years later. So we need to prioritize it in our budget. We need to find strategic partnerships with existing organizations. We need to find grants. We need to find federal funds. But we have to be proactive in doing all of those things because that's what's going to solve the problem in the end.
Thank you. Is there more you would like to add, Christy?
I think education is definitely, I think it's going to be addressed in the scope of question.
Okay, great. Okay, another 30 seconds if you so choose.
Sure, well, I'll take the opportunity to let you know I am endorsed by the North Side and Northeast American Federation of Teachers because of my interest in and advocacy for our public education. And I'm very proud of that. Thank you.
Great. Moving on to the K-12 age range. We know that K-12 provides an abundance of support to our young people. And beyond that, San Antonio has numerous youth development organizations providing vital out-of-school time services. If elected, how will you ensure that San Antonio becomes a gold standard for how we support young people in their workforce and career trajectories? Liv, here first.
We do have some amazing nonprofit organizations in our city, and I think to maximize our city budget and make sure we're taking care of everyone, we need to find those strategic partnerships with the people that are already doing it well. I don't think we need to spend money reinventing the wheel. We need to partner with them to lift up those organizations while we also serve the constituents we need to serve. I have 3 children, 2 of which are teenagers, very small there. And I would like to partner with our local businesses because we need to prepare our kids for the jobs that are available in San Antonio, for the San Antonio economy. And so if we can build those partnerships, have workforce training starting in high school, then we have kids graduating that can have a livable wage and start their careers off sooner. And it also helps our business community and uplifts our economic development.
Great, thank you. Christy?
Well, this is one of the things I really wanted to talk about. One of the things that I think we're missing in our society today is an anchor adult in the lives of a lot of the kids because their parents both work or grandparents are working. And so who is dictating what these kids believe about themselves? What we're finding is that it's social media and it's things that are feeding them from that social media. And I don't like that at all. And I want to see these kids have an opportunity to see what their potential is. I call it the hidden rules of the social class. The things that maybe they're not learning at home. How to look someone in the eye, how to shake someone's hand, how to do good well in interviews, how to speak to adults respectfully. Now, we take for granted a lot of these things that they're taught from parents, but a lot of the time they're not. And that's where I think we break this cycle of poverty that we see. They're equipped, they're smart, everyone has access to things like the math and the basics of education, but do they have the opportunity to learn how to behave, how to act in society, what's expected of them, where to go for resources? These are the things that I think we need citywide for all schools. I don't care what school, public, private, charter, any of it. Everybody needs to know those social skills, and they're losing them in droves because of social media. And it's serious. It's going to take out entire generations of our children, and I'm going to be very passionate about this. And it's easy for us to push this at the city level. Make this something we stand for. And that's one thing I'm going to stand for in city council.
We'll come back to you in 30 seconds. Do you have more to add that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I'd also like to address mental health because not only do we need to provide these kids with skills to get the jobs, we need to make sure we're taking care of their mental health, provide peer support. So not only do we need sports, but we need opportunities for them to socialize and be healthy emotionally. And I'd like to see more of that supported by the city.
Great. Christy?
Well, I just wanted to add, I think a lot of this is about confidence as well. And social media, I mean, I know all of us are seeing it, you know, the dopamine that the kids are getting and what we're learning about social media and the addiction to phones and how it's impacting even the daily of our students in their classroom. And so, again, I just want to reinforce how important I think a citywide program campaign will be for us to address these issues because it's affecting all kids.
Thank you both. We're going to move to question 3, and Missy, you'll go first. Youth and young adults are a key factor in building the thriving San Antonio that we all want. How will you ensure that empowering our youth and young adults is considered as you design policy and as you make investments?
So I'm going to see workforce development really impact local San Antonians, young adults and the students. The younger we can reach the younger generations, the better. But we are seeing growth, people moving here from other places, other states, other countries, and they have other skills. So it's on us to build up our local San Antonians. So I really want to focus on doing that in our workforce development. Some of the barriers at workforce development happen to be the child care issue and also transportation. And we need to have quality instructors and caseworkers in our workforce development, good communication with our private sector businesses, the small businesses, medium businesses, large businesses, help to dictate what the needs are for our workforce here in San Antonio. And I really do want to focus this on the local community. It's gonna be tough to find. I want my kids to have a good job here. I don't want them to move. I want them to stay, come back, stay here, go to school here. I don't want them to leave, and my grandkids too, and I think all of us want that. So it's important we do things now so that that is the future for San Antonio. And we have the best place to live. We know it's the best place to live. We have to grasp these opportunities that are ahead of us and train up a workforce so that we can continue the legacy that San Antonio has, the culture that we have. It's a great place to live, and I want it to remain that way.
Angie?
So as we look at developing policy, we need to solve the problems of today with an eye on the future. So when we look at policies that we're creating, we need to look at the intended and unintended consequences of those. So we need to make sure everyone involved is at the table, including our youth. I can tell you I have 2 teenagers, they're very opinionated, but they also have very good ideas, and they have an understanding of things that I don't always have. And so I think bringing in the youth to help us when we're creating policy to see, does this make sense? Is this going to have an impact? Would be really helpful. And then look at what we already exist in our city. We have incredible certification programs in our public ISDs. We have incredible job training, career training tracks. Why can't we partner as a city with those schools that are doing this to help maybe provide a little more funding to those schools at the same time as the city is getting a discount on what we're trying to provide? I think it's all about building those partnerships, being strategic about what we want to see in the next 10, 20 years. Where do we want our city to go, and base our policy today on the future that we want to see.
You have another 30 seconds if you'd like to speak.
Sure. I do want to point out that we did just pass the Alamo Community Colleges bond, and I think this is a great opportunity for us to marry the high school programs with the Alamo Community Colleges and Alamo Promise. And we are going to see a huge expansion in trades. Real estate needs more people in trade hugely here. I mean, it's a big industry for San Antonio. We can jump into that immediately. So I'm excited to see what that bond is going to bring about: expansion of the nursing school, HVAC, the electrical, and cybersecurity. So San Antonio is ripe for a lot of new, exciting things for our youth. And I'm really excited to be at the forefront of that as your next city councilwoman for District 9.
Thank you.
I'm really excited at what's to come and all of the people here that are so invested in education in our city. I would like to say, as your city council person, my door will be open, and I am open to your ideas. I want to hear what your experiences are and how we can affect those at City Hall, because this is a truly representative position, and I feel like that's our job, is to listen to you and act on that through our policy at City Hall. So my door is already open. I invite you to reach out to me, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Please join me in thanking the 2 council candidates for District 9.